Sorry, I was collecting my thoughts.
You alright?
There's been a lot to think about, especially with being on the ship so long.
Yes. I do believe, though, that our travels are coming to an end.
Thankfully.
Students seem lively as ever.
Yes, I was surprised to see them pretty much up and awake about the same time every day.
Simply what they're used
I
to,
feel like
perhaps.
they try to... Probably.
I suppose we should go mingle then. Can't let them thinking we're scary.
Oh, why not?
Up early as usual?
Yes, ma'am.
Hope the storm last night wasn't keeping you all awake. Boat was rocking quite a bit.
Well, I was a little bit, was keeping an eye out for whatever ship was tailing us through the mist, but I lost sight of them.
It was a strange occurrence, wasn't it?
I'm sorry?
There was a boat that was trailing us, but I lost it in the mist.
Does the captain know of this?
I believe, there have been several eyewitness reports of it.
I see.
Don't worry, I'm keeping an eye out.
It seems we'll have a discussion with the captain then. Thank you.
Bye.
The crew reports that we'll be making landfall in the next couple of days. I'm sure being at sea has been rough. We'll be on land soon enough.
A lot of things, a lot to unpack after what I saw, but it's Monty. Pleasure to meet you.
Good morning, sir.
Put it back in. That's dealt with.
Very well.
I had an explosion. I told you that story.
Sir?
I'm quite impressed.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hope the trip has been alright and steady.
Been quite well. Staff has reported that there was a sighting of a ship several days ago. Do you have any information on that?
Yes, there was. With a head of a crimson lady. It shouldn't be no problem. We lost them in the fog, it appears. We haven't spotted them since, right? Red?
Not at all. I haven't seen them since the fog.
We probably lost them. I don't know why they'd be following us, but shouldn't be a problem.
Probably mapping our route.
So long as we're all aware, I suppose. Better to be safe than sorry.
If we spot anything, we'll make sure to call. But for now, make yourself at home. Be careful, take your relaxation. We're making sure to have, I think it's Neckbeard who's the one that's cleaning everything currently.
That's quite the name.
So, if there's any problems, just feel free to tell.
Thank you. It would be a shame if we were interrupted by another ship. We have some precious cargo down below. The beast and all.
We do.
masters, and we
I do not wish to be losing out on the coin. How about after all this long journey, we go out for some drinks, man?
I definitely would love
Aye.
Help the students with their weapons maintenance and so on. As well as matters connected.
You can rest assured knowing you're in the safety of Captain Pumpkin Patch.
Delightful. I'm very confident in our journey.
I've had my
Good.
dealings with things,
Have to get back
so
to
I definitely understand.
Good morning.
Have you already asked about the
By all means, by over the course of our travel, how
the
you
mist?
treated your
Did you already mention? That's what I came up here to do.
Yes, more so the curiosities of the ship that was following us, but I suppose perhaps the mist is just a
We've
result of
lost it,
winter.
Don't stress.
they learn
That sounds good.
We have eyes out. I have my best man with the best eyes looking out, making sure. And with your
respectfully looking at the
students or whatever they are looking out,
and I believe to say they are
it'll be fine.
Yes, quite capable, they've proved themselves, that's for sure.
your training would be really short-lived when the moment you're in freezing cold water because you wanted to try your fire. Not bring too many students. I know, not
I'd recommend not trying out your fire on me boat, my boy.
Cause too much noise around.
I won't. I've learned a lesson from the first time trying to come out.
It may be called a willow, it's but it's still made out of wood.
engagements with
What else are you supposed to do?
I got excited to show my magic to someone who finally understood what magic was when I first showed up to Rosewood and was
Many people do.
Yeesh. Oh, be careful. Don't want me boat burning down?
Yeah, go for it. I have my
We would be swimming with the frozen fishes. Thank you.
Jack.
Ship doesn't just tail us for that long and then decide to
They may be just big fans of the Will-O-Wisp, who knows? We've been through much worse.
I hope this was a good idea.
They wouldn't be able to catch up to us in the fog and ran off scared, like a cat with a tail between their legs.
they're probably reporting back our route.
Leaving a second time's going to be a lot more difficult.
They'd get lost in the fog through
Captain Axworth?
Oh, you knew. Huh. Hi. Yes. I just recently found out.
and even if we do
You're Miss Rosewood?
some sort of tussle,
I try to familiarize myself with those who are helping my cause. I apologize for the surprise.
It's fine. It's a pleasant one. I didn't actually know if I'd ever meet the boss. But
stupid if you think about it. It's very clear
It's been some time.
had a habit of it at least.
much things. I mean,
Yes. I hope it's gone well, ma'am. We've been doing our best to keep the school in ship shape for you.
Have you? How are things
I
on the
believe so.
island?
don't worry about it.
Everyone's a little, well, since Kenvale they were all very, tense. I suppose the most notable change is that of the progression of everyone's skills. I've seen a lot of leaps in ability. But it's good, it's all for the cause.
You know, I can really go for a banana.
I assume you know about the occult practices?
Any bananas around here? Food goes bad.
Yes, I've been made aware.
for a nice steak, something that's not, dried meat.
Kind of surprising to me on the first day, but eventually got used to it myself. Giving the captain position I was handed, it was harder to have an opinion right away without ostracizing my teammates. I don't know. It's not something I'm used to, I suppose. But
No, and most of the world is not. You are not alone in that thought. But dark times cause for dark practices, and we must be more accepting of that. It can be a challenge, but a necessary one.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, after all, would you say that your occult-using comrades are any different than yourself? Or anyone else?
I think their past is... That's actually a fantastic point I'd never considered. Huh.
Best to be open-minded, I suppose.
No, actually, I think that a lot of them are very similar to me. But, then again, maybe they formed whatever this is for me now. I don't know if you know anything about my past before Rosewood.
A small bit. Quite many of you. Most are new from my last appearance. I do my best to read up.
Yes.
You are worth the time, of course.
Thank you, ma'am. Make sure you're proved right about that.
You can call me Alea. Formalities, well, I've never been one for them, really.
Okay. But in front of them I might call you... What is it, headmistress?
Yes, I suppose. You want to know a secret, Mr. Axworth? I have no idea what that means, being a headmistress. But that's why you're all here.
Oh.
To do things that I cannot.
Well, I know armies, ma'am, I know battle. I'm learning magic. Aether-tech specifically. I think it's going well, actually.
Aether-tech. A study that I've never been familiar with. It's impressive.
It's just magic on steroids.
That's a term.
Well, that is a term. I would say it's like a guided steroid contraption. You know, just... Does it probably not? Okay. Do you actually know what it is? Or do you not know?
I am aware of the practice.
Okay. Yes. That's how I see it, anyway. I just know, you know, we get to cut through the, traditional elvish teachings when you have the ability to just push magic into a weapon. Which is actually an advantage I wasn't taking, advantage of, until Kenvale. So, I should be more optimal. I have some training to do still. But, yeah. I think we're getting closer.
Do you find that you can cast easier with the use of Aether-tech rather than your own capabilities?
I don't know if I might be paraphrasing, but I think Professor Acteris told me that casting is like working a muscle. The more I do it, the more familiar I am. I've been doing that my whole life. But actually, if we were at campus right now, I would be spending away my mana on target and then drinking another mana potion, being tired for the rest of the day. I've been getting better at it, I suppose, but I'm more interested in capacity considering the, you know, ammunition.
It's interesting. It does take quite a bit of work to be a caster. I am thoroughly impressed seeing how far everyone has come, actually. I wasn't sure what I was going to stumble across all those weeks ago when we all met one another on the ship. Needless to say, it wasn't this. You've all done well.
Captain, we're in need of you.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep. Yes. Emma, this is. Okay. I'll
Yes?
see you later, ma'am.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry?
That's the headmistress, Miss Rosewood.
Oh.
It's quite alright. I believe you're needed, Captain.
You are
Yes, ma'am.
needed. We all need it.
I'm needed.
Down we go.
Yes, ma'am. Come on, Emma.
It's a unique bunch.
Yes. They continue to surprise me every day.
I had a brief introduction with Team Tara, they're called. And it seems like they get fresh faces every however months, because not everyone's been there the entire time.
Did they happen to mention why?
No, they didn't.
I suppose one of the first things we'll look at then is the graveyard. Let's hope.
Looking out for something in particular.
Just keeping an eye out for anything planned or, well, you know the other one.
Yes.
I already checked the back lot and I didn't see anything of interest.
Question,
But I'll
sir.
keep an eye out either way.
Is everyone on the ship aware of the tailing?
I believe most of the crew is aware. I'm not exactly sure if the students are aware.
It may be good for everyone to be on the same page, especially if this ship decides to make any moves. I think we've all seen that the students are quite capable. The more they know about the situation, the more that they can help as well. Do you think you could see to informing them
I agree.
throughout the day?
Of course. Miss Rosewood.
No need. You can call me Alea. Never liked formalities.
Understood. I'm also not exactly a character of formalities either.
What would you prefer to be called?
Kai or Takia, either one. I called it both. Whatever's more comfortable.
Alright. In the face of students, you will be called Takia. In private, I will call you Kai. Thank you.
Understood, Alea. I will also call you that in private. Great. I'll start passing on the word.
Thank you. I wonder why it was kept secret from them in the first place, or it made not aware.
I wonder if the severity may have caught them at the feet or something.
Perhaps. Seeing what they're capable of in Kenvale. And they're more useful to us if they're kept in the loop. They can protect themselves better at least.
That's a fair point. There's no need to catch anyone blindsided. We are on a bit of a small space. And I overheard that someone was using fire magic on a wooden ship.
Oh. Well, they are children
know who.
still, after all. Stuck on a ship for several weeks, perhaps they're getting a bit bored. Though we can certainly hope that no one sets this ablaze, or the bill will be much higher than it currently is already. We're going to have our hands quite full once we reach landfall. It'll be good for us both to learn as much as we can about everyone here, at least by name.
Yes, I already started that, but I'm sure there will be plenty more once we get to the island.
Yes. Though I wonder just how many.
That's what I meant to ask. How many other teams were on the island?
I believe the last I was there they had 7. I am uncertain if that is still current.
I guess we will see. Although if they need to be getting fresh faces, then I highly doubt they would raise the number. Maybe lower it.
Must be quite hard to find people willing to fight for the cause.
Likely. People can preach about how brave they are, but once the threat is right before them, most of them flee.
Simon, my boy.
Yes.
He's dead. Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
The scurry's getting to you.
Do you think that's a fault of theirs? Cowardice. Or do you understand it?
I think I understand to an extent. I think maybe even greater, more so, but there's no point in standing around and waiting for it to come.
Agreed.
Your sight ain't the best.
I'm in my youth. I'm in my youth.
You're in your youth. You got gray hairs.
Hey, grey hairs means experience, boy. You best learn that.
Hey, look at me. I'm old and I still look young as the day I was a freshman.
Yeah, sure.
The freshness of a pumpkin. One that never goes
Do you know the
sour.
purpose of these introductions going on?
The only difference is instead of having 20/20 vision, you just have 20.
No,
I mean, that may be true,
not
but
really.
it's the best eye I got. Don't look so tense, ma'am. Relax. We'll be there in no time.
I assure you I am quite relaxed.
How much farther do we got on this journey?
At least 2 kilometers. At least. It's hard to see with my one eye, okay? My depth perception isn't the best.
I mean, I see nothing.
Maybe you should get a new one.
Oh, if it was that easy, I would,
Ships full of
laddie.
strange people.
They were the only one willing to take going. You're doing great, all of you, Captain, crew.
Thank you, thank you. We're the best ones in the, well, how many seas we've got. I lost count.
Well, there's not many ships who are willing to travel all continents just to pick up a few of us stragglers. It is much appreciated, truly.
Oh, of course, the coin that we're getting paid is worth it enough, especially the company. Well, usually just me and this crazy lot most of the time, but... oh, it's fine.
Well, we'll be out of your hair, so to speak, as soon as we make landfall, and rest assured you will be paid.
Oh, no worries. We'll be in your hair for a little bit too. We're thinking to go get some food, fresh drink. We've been on this ship for a while too. We want a little bit of a break.
Yes, agreed. We have food and drink on the island, I'm fairly certain, and also room and board for you to rest for as long as you'd like.
Oh, perfect. It's been a while since I slept on a comfy bed on land. Oh, that sounds great.
Yes.
Ray, do you hear that?
Yeah? What?
We got our own rooms, a comfy bed on land.
Oh, thank God I don't have to deal with neckbeard snoring.
Our sea legs are a little strange. We stumble on land quite some time.
Seafaring adventures to go on.
Yes. I am impressed. I've never been one for the sea.
No, you're missing out. It's a lovely adventure. You meet lovely faces and some crazy ones. Ain't that right, Neckbeard?
Aye, I've seen many things deep in the sea. Crazy things you wouldn't dream of. Some crazy things you would dream of, but I ain't questioning.
Sitting like this.
Like your ex-wife?
Oh god.
We don't talk about
Half that shit is.
Ah, don't worry. The sea isn't made for all, but it's a very fun place. As long as the students don't destroy my boat, it'll be fine.
No, and any damage that is done, that will be taken care of as well. Though I do have faith.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Never much, Marla. You know, I'm just hiding in a bush somewhere.
Very interesting group. Very bunch bright group of kids.
Yes, Rosewood sent what they felt was their most capable for their most recent mission, and we weren't disappointed.
That's good to see. Maybe one day if I have a son one day, I'll send him over.
Well, I certainly hope that the world that your son is born into is better than the one that they were.
Having a son, that's funny.
I hope so as well. But it's fine. Well, you take it easy. Again, if you need anything, just call for me. Don't be so tense. I've had a few of your students come ask me about the ship. Again, no worries at all. We have plenty of supplies. There's like no way they'll come over. We've lost them in the fog. And even if anything does happen, which it probably won't, we'll be fine.
Thank you, Captain, for your reassurances.
Of course, of course. Now relax, rest easy. Enjoy some of the food we have, rest inside, do what you please.
They were to get the attention of the Rift Beast. We were to set a trap for it. Unfortunately, they
Sounds interesting.
did not go according to the time limit, but we did get the job done in the end. After that, we had light pursuit with other hostiles back to the ship, but you know, the main focus was to wear the package down and get it tied up and put it down. Tuck it in the bed. So to speak.
By the
Memory serves, you took part in this as well, did you not?
Yes, ma'am. Me and the other unsorted defended the boat. And I, one of the Rifties got to the boat and wrangled it to wherever it is now.
Yes, below deck, I believe. Caged, shackled.
None that I am aware of.
Good.
I believe Morgan is resting, but I don't think she's injured.
That's a good thing. She wrestled that hard.
She got a good grip on his neck.
Yep.
Entertaining.
And hang up.
Why don't we go get something to eat or drink and let Tara...
Our amazing singing voice keep us...
Of course, by all means. Also, if there were any conversation, I also did not mean to interject, so by all means. I was in itself just more interested in your own capabilities as well. But, yes, I'm quite partial myself, so I'll gladly do so.
Hey, Captain.
If I may...
I'm pretty sure they might have a problem in the lower quarters.
Who are you representing?
What happened?
You might want to go check it.
I am representing a small military group known as the Setting Sun. We are in itself more to describe ourselves, at least from what we heard about Rosewood, we are not as strongly militarized as Rosewood might be, but we are in itself more soldiers of choice. You know, others might choose their armies and draft them from wherever it may be, but we are more people who, perhaps from what I've understood, like Rosewood themselves, accept people or see talented individuals where we reach out a letter and they can, of course, deny whatever they might be. But we are more focused on, how do I say this properly? We work a lot in the spirit of Gaia. Our understanding is that we are trying to work together with the people of different countries. We are trying to work as best as we can to find a prosperous peace together, united. And, of course, in turn are trying to rebuild as much as we can. While others are, as Madame Squaret has already said, in their militarized ways are the equivalent of a sledgehammer to a hedgehog. We are trying to more focus on, what would you say, direct attacks where it's necessary. means when it comes to also me, I will probably be staying a little longer when it comes to the Rosewood Academy.
We have
And
heard of
course, if you
other
have any more questions and you
organizations
see me on
sprouting up
campus,
around
by all means,
Astria, have
I
we
am
not?
free to talk as much as I'll be sure to talk your ear
I
off
believe
about
so.
our cause.
None as big, but
Well, then why don't we head inside before it gets too cold?
Yes, it may be worthwhile to do our own research and consider making some sort of allegiance with his foundation.
I was told you were getting the tools. I'll go get them. You stay here.
any numbers are good numbers.
I'll say
And
one.
issues with
Yes, sir.
partnering.
Yes, especially considering the news that students seem to be leaving Rosewood more frequently than we would like.
I mean, we're just presenting ourselves. I don't feel that it could have gone wrong in some way. Just a tiny bit, but you did well.
Interesting.
Do I like magic?
What?
Am I the one lacking magic?
Do be careful, sir.
Of course.
Certainly you know what's inside.
Yes. May I ask, ma'am, why did you capture one of them?
I must apologize for that. I am uncertain. The Chancellor sent Terra specifically to capture this beast, and for reasons I do not have the details, though. Seems to be for learning purposes.
Right. I'm sorry, aren't you Miss Rosewood?
Yes, you can call me Alea, however. I've never been one for formalities.
Of course. Alea, I'm Vesper Sua Eres. It is nice to meet you. If I may ask, shouldn't you know?
So I suppose that's one of my failures, being away for so long. I've not been to the island in several months at this point.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure if you remember, it's been several weeks at this point, but we did board the ship at the same time.
Right. Of course. The captain mentioned we should be arriving soon.
Yes. Do you miss the land?
Yes. I am not one for water. And being surrounded like this, it's a bit... it's not for me.
Yes. This long journey will soon come to an end, and a new chapter will open. I look forward to seeing what you can accomplish for our cause.
Well, we'll see, I suppose. I hope nothing happens. I don't know if you were informed. A ship was following us for a few days.
Yes, I was made aware this morning. It is my goal to make sure that everyone on this ship is aware of that information before nightfall. Not telling you things certainly will not help should there be an attack. Wouldn't you agree?
Certainly. Especially since I need materials to cast. I would need to be ready. That's why I have my satchel just in case the ship arrives. Otherwise I would have left it. But my quarters...
Pardon my asking. What materials might those be?
Poison. It's a variety. Herbs. Some liquids. A few mineral poisons.
Intriguing. And
I used a bunch of them when we made that stop in A6 to capture the beast. But that's why I don't have many left. Not a lot of poisons to catch in the sea, yes?
yes, I suppose you're right about that. My understanding is that they have plenty of herbs on land. A professor to teach and help gather as well. It is my hope that once we reach campus, you'll be able to replenish those materials then. Thank you.
It shouldn't take long. Of course. I know what to look for myself, either way.
I want you to continue making this progress in this drive in the next year.
Where did Character go?
You all done well. You all act like a family, protecting each other, doing what's right. The other part of business is something I want to be a little bit more discreet about, which I'm going to say in a whisper.
Forgive my asking. Are you aware of who that man is? The supposed ambassador? I didn't catch it.
I believe he said his name was Sinclair, with the setting sun. Interested in aligning our organizations.
I see. I can't say that I've heard of them.
No, though, it is refreshing to know that more of the world is trying to save itself.
At least some of it.
Indeed.
Thank you for answering. I should go inside. All this water makes me nauseous.
Stay warm.
I just wanted to commend you guys. I didn't want to wait until we got to the shore. To keep you all aware.
Thank you, sir.
Please also pass this around to all your other teammates. It's definitely made a way.
Only child.
Yes, sir.
Been on my own.
Captain?
So not
Everything all right?
They are
Is everything all right?
talking about tailing uninvited party. Making sure that people
Again, there's no need to worry, boy. They've tailed. We've got plenty of other people tailing us in the past. Not for this specific thing, but we lost them in the fog, like I said. There's no need to stress. Don't tense up about it.
Well, just as my position. I'm always aware.
I'll give them props.
That's fair. You and your
just wanted to make
contract.
sure.
That. But obviously we're not.
Don't worry,
fighting
your
things like
captain
these
has
out
you
here,
safe.
Mostly pirates.
And I've got your back.
Aye. There are plenty of capable students too. I'm sure they can handle themselves.
Again,
As long as you don't set
them
fire to
I'm
my
worried
boat.
Probably was about their age when I first started.
Keep an eye on
to the other one.
Good idea. I like this boy.
Traveling seas, maybe a little bit younger
That's
than them.
not. Where do I even begin to correct you?
What do you mean?
What? You didn't say anything wrong.
Got a point. Then the other one.
Like, I mean, he makes complete clear sense.
Oh, you're
Night and
meaning.
day, yeah.
Right. I'm thinking the other ships in my
The sea does have its
No,
dangers.
not the harbor.
Seem full of energy.
Robin.
It's good.
But most people call me.
Especially that one. And that one.
You know I've inspected this crew for quite some time. I'm pretty sure I know of basic behaviors.
So let's
It's good
go light
try.
the boat on fire. That's normal.
Again, not my boat.
Yeah, that one.
The
Don't
other
worry.
boat. The Crimson Lady boat that comes up, which it probably won't. So don't worry.
I see what
We
you're
have it all.
I was about to ask if you were
Alright,
one
well,
of the
I'm just
professors
making
here.
everyone aware.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, that's good. Just don't cause no fears. There is nothing to be afraid of. Captain
yet.
Pumpkin Patch and his ship of the Will-O-Wisp. Get sick.
Committed by her grace.
Is that your official name?
Yay for Captain
Hey,
something
something.
funny, small fry.
Oh, no, sir. Not at all.
High honor.
I thought so. Yes, the ship is called the Willow Wisp, and I am the pumpkin patch.
Very astute observation.
That's Neckbeard. That's Simon. We got Robin up there.
Ah.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Nancy
Why do
Neckbeard.
I call you Pumpkin Patch?
That's Simon.
The pumpkin and the patch.
That's Red Robin.
When I was younger, I used to work at a pumpkin patch with my family.
He's very straightforward.
And it's called the Willow Wisp because,
Still
so
there?
does it look ghostly.
Yeah, I mean...
So,
Yeah, exactly. See, I told you
do you know why they captured the beast?
Is it more just aliases?
This is my first time even interacting
Could be not. That's up for us to know, and you not.
Rosewood in general. That's the name.
No,
I would assume they have to be secretive, bringing in...
Understood.
Why don't you let me go speak to her?
Like they said, we are the only ones willing to take
Tell me.
the job, so be grateful.
Wait over there. I'll have her come to you.
What do you intend to accomplish your time here?
Excuse me. Madame Rosewood, the investor is requesting your presence at the front of the ship.
Very well.
Suppose we shall talk later then.
Thank you.
Of course.
Oh, Monsieur
That is
my name.
Oh, my back.
That's my boy.
Right.
She's aloof with everyone.
Okay, I think I'm going to go back down.
I was expecting to, get a pumping in the patch, but that's a personal preference, I guess, if I was in his position.
Simon, why don't you do me a favor?
Madame Rosewood, it's an honor.
You don't just stay in the corner.
Likewise. You can call me Alea, though. Never been one for
Of
formalities.
course. Then,
You know what's fat for?
Sinclair. Sinclair Dano, I know we've had a small passing by conversation, but you seem to be quite, would you say, I say this respectfully, out of it in the conversation, more just giving simple yes-no answers. I was more just interested in general for, I'm not sure if you've been informed or if the letter was received. I am from the Setting Sun group. I'm working with the, wanted to perhaps become an investor with the academy. So I wanted to perhaps see a little bit, see for myself what Madame Rosewood has to offer when it comes to their students and their own soldiers, of course, as well.
Of course. I was surprised to hear that they were sending one of your own. Though, hearing that there are other parties looking to save the world as we know it is... It's intriguing, to say the least. A surprise.
We have in itself a same goal in mind. Other people try to find the different ways. Other people might try to, as you would say, bring down the hammer, as some might say, to perhaps bring a more brutal and quick end to a lot of things, which in many cases only leads with the spearhead being bent. While we try to, as so far I have heard from Madame Skyette, we try to be more precise in the things that we do. So I can understand that we might have a lot of things in common, we just have different priorities, per se.
Indeed.
I was also informed by Madame Skyette that you seem to be quite absent within the Academy. Is there something that is the matter, if I might ask directly?
I do not mind the question. Yes, it is quite odd. I understand how it looks. There are other matters in Favira, I'm sure you're aware, with Weldron Keep.
Oh, absolutely.
Swainpool, the Blythewood. Things to attend to that
yes,
unfortunately could not go without seeing myself.
Blightwood in itself has always been a big problem, especially with Setting Sun, relating that they're us being followers of Gaia themselves. So anything nature-related is for us a problem. Absolutely, so I can understand. And by all means, if your matters with the Rosewood Academy are also related to the Blightwood, then I, of course, am already way more intrigued and interested in perhaps finding a coalition with each other.
Well, it is, of course, our goal to close the rifts.
I already asked Madame Skyette, but who exactly is currently in charge of the academy? I was informed that it might be someone by the name of Malik.
Yes, he is the Chancellor in my stead.
Very well. When it comes to anybody in the academy, I prefer honesty over intrigue. Would there be anybody of the teacher caste as well as the students who I might need to be looking out for?
Looking out for?
Well, by all means, I understand your vetting process is very acceptable, and I do not wish to say that you're hiring charlatans, but I do wish to care that if there's anybody who might, would you say, is more unruly or perhaps a little bit more rough with the students, if I might have to look out for them specifically. Perhaps even work as a sort of, I say this respectfully, perhaps a small insider to assist with you that everyone in this academy is properly doing what they're supposed to.
I've only met them by name. Their actions I have yet to see for myself. Though, I suppose after meeting them in the next coming days, I could take you up on your offer, should I see that it's needed.
So you're saying, and by no means I do not wish to sound aggressive or more direct with this request, but have you hired these professors and you have not spoken to them before?
No, the hiring process is taken care of by Malik as well. Surely,
of course,
tending to things away would be better to hire them myself.
So when it comes to this Malik individual, that means he has quite a lot of sway within the Rosewood Academy. And of course, the counselor and all, but is there, when it comes to Malik, is there anything else I should know about him? Any sort of, perhaps topics I should bring up in your name if you're not joining us on land?
No, rest assured I will be there for much longer than before.
By all means, that is good to hear. I would like to see the reaction to the students as well when the namesake of the academy is, of course, also showing up. That is going to be an interesting sight to behold.
Seems to be everybody has gone below deck, I think.
Well,
being quite honest,
sort of
it's
surprise, but still.
It's I'm not sure what they'll think of me, if I'm being honest. Makes me nervous.
It is something, well, with you they are probably a lot more accepting than towards a stranger like me. Especially, I'm not sure, have you ever had any other, well, Madame Skyette told me that you had other investors who were interested before. What happened with them?
My understanding is that they, well, I'm not as familiar with the likes of A6, but they seem to turn nose at those that we teach occult.
Yes, it is. I do have to say that with this, it will be the same when it comes to us, when it comes to occult, but we are less immediately cutthroat, but more turn a side eye. But it is something that is still very much, would you say, uncouth when it comes to our teachings.
Yes, as I told Captain Jacksworth, dark times call for dark practices. Time to be open-minded and
of course
find solutions, lest we all perish.
I understand, and I will of course try to judge these with honesty, but I will also try my best to be fair if there should be any students who do openly practice these occult teachings.
And rest assured that those who lose control of these dark practices are also dealt with.
Well, this is something that is still bothers me, but is it... when it comes to the students that are there, are they, and I say this respectfully, Madame Rosewood, are they all that young?
It's sad, isn't it? These are the young individuals that have decided to put their lives on hold in order to save everyone else's. Yes, they are this young.
Oh, I mean, I have already been introduced by Team Terra, and I have to say that they are looking quite capable for their age, especially with Jackson apparently already having quite the military experience, apparently. But it does bother me as well sometimes seeing the age of the soldiers go further down low every single year that passes and every single day that passes with this Rift Beast menace.
Yes. This is certainly something that we agree on. So.
I do wish to know as well, when it comes to that, Madam Rosewood, is that, your practices. I understand that Councilman Malik is taking care of most of these things, but when it comes to such things, do you still have a keen eye, and does Malik give you a report about these things, or is he more of a sort of, trust me, I'll do it type of person?
No, in fact, Samar, my assistant, she does very well keeping track of the paperwork that is sent to us by Malik himself on a monthly basis. We know who comes in, who goes out, what magic is studied, and how far they've progressed.
So she in itself is sort of your, and I do not wish to discredit her by all means, sort of a secretary in that sense. Does she in itself do your general work as well, or does what in itself about you, if I may ask, Madame Rosewood? I understand you have a lot of things planned, but what do you do when you're not focused on the, well, focus of education?
I suppose that would imply that there's anything more to focus on other than trying to save the world. This has become my livelihood, after all.
I understand saving the world and becoming your livelihood are two things, absolutely. But I do also, well, as I told Madame Skyette, I do not wish to make any assumptions, and I wish to, for you to be very, but I'd like to be open about it, is that I am feeling a little worrisome by the understanding that the leader of a, well, and the namesake of an academy is not really present a lot. But as you said yourself, you're trying to change that, so I will have to see in the next couple of days what exactly the progress of that is.
By all
It will
means.
be quite interesting.
It is, of course, your choice whether or not you decide to align our organizations. If you do not like what you see, there is no pressure to do so. Our practices will not be changing.
Of course, I understand, and everybody has their own ways of teaching, while we are more the guiding hand. So far from my reports about the Rosewood Academy, see that you are quite on equal terms in that regard. It would still be interesting to see the difference in our teachings, so I am, well, careful, but intrigued, Madame.
Of course.
Also, so, if I might ask, and I do not wish to take a lot of your time, but when it comes to the Professor cast, I was informed about, of course, Madame Skyette, as well as Professor Takuya, as well as someone named Acteris, and of course, Councilman Malik. Would there be anybody else of the professors that are in there, or is that all of the professors that are there?
I believe you're missing Professor Bombadil. He is our alchemist. He's responsible of supplying medical. We have also Professor Mordred, linguistics and culture. Rosewood travels quite a bit.
Oh, fantastic.
It is quite important that the students are aware of the cultures that they will be imposing on when we visit.
That is very interesting. Usually, on the other, well, branches of military that I've dealt with, linguistics and cultures are usually something that gets respectfully pushed aside for more combat training. So hearing that is quite, well, it's a relief, I do have to say. But, Mr. Bombadil as well, when it says, so he is the alchemy teacher, I was informed already by Madame Skyette, maybe there was a mistake, maybe that Acteris was already working, oh no, it was Malik was also working as an alchemy teacher. Do you have two teachers for that sake, or are you, there might be a missing communication?
No, they are more of a joint working pair. Malik himself is
two
a
brains combined for one,
doctor,
I understand.
a healer. Well, Bombadil does
okay.
potions.
Right, so one who's more on the focus on the chemical mass aspect, while the other one is directly more knowledgeable on the physical aspect of healing.
Absolutely.
Ah, a good joint corporation, I do have to say. I'll be sure to have a good conversation with them as well. And, of course, it will be, quite enjoyable. If you don't mind, I will be, going down into the cabins. I will still rest before we arrive, if you do not mind.
Of course. Stay warm.
Of course. Madame? Madame?
Very nicely, so your loss hasn't destroyed my ship, so it's great. Very good company.
Furthermore, proving my point that we have quite the diverse group, I have gone about and introduced myself to the rest of them.
And how has that gone?
It was insightful.
All over the place.
If I know you at all, Samar. It's an interesting choice of words.
Well, I mean, there are some fortunate and some less fortunate, but I mean, diversity. I guess that's what's to be expected from the Rifts, though.
Yes. I suppose so. The investor would likely come find you at some point in time to inquire about the things that we keep up with in our absence of the campus. Paperwork that Chancellor Malik has sent you seems to have concerns on our lack of appearance.
Well, if they knew. I think whatever the concern may be could be valid, but there are things happening all around the world.
Indeed. I take no offense. In fact, I do not hold it against him for being as curious as he is. Surely how we run our organization varies quite differently from how he runs his. I'll be interested to see how long he sticks around.
I can only hope that good comes from it, though.
Yes, it would be quite a
I guess
shame.
that's everyone's hope.
The fact that more of us are not allying together is a waste.
I'm sorry, what was it again?
Oh, you have a pretty face too, don't stress it. You think so, huh?
I'm going to be heading below ship.
Came out of sorts. You look
I believe I will do the same. It's getting quite cold out there.
Yes.
Yeah, and it makes you look like a completely different person. My apologies. I think staying up for early watch.
Oh, Robin's a fellow named Ray. He's my right-hand man. Takes care of a lot of the ledgers and stuff.
On the island, you will do whatever the professors tell you to do. Understood? Your shelter, your food, your very survival will depend on the respect that you give them and your fellow students.
There's no shade.
And I can assure you that your fellow students are quite accomplished and deserving of your respect.
I went the wrong way.
About cost and how long you
Yes,
want.
that happens sometimes, and that is a bit
And I'm very
slippery.
impressed.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am. My name is Elenia Scott.
Elenia Scott? And?